Bueno, hola a todos los que estáis aquí presentes, los que nos estáis viendo por streaming y los que nos vais a ver en grabado, porque este taller lo vamos a publicar en las páginas web de INCIBE, en el YouTube de INCIBE. Entonces, bueno, se puede ser también que alguien nos esté viendo en diferido. Voy a empezar con la presentación. Vale. Bueno, pues como todos sabéis, el taller que vamos a hacer ahora es Gestiona tus contraseñas de forma segura y protege tus cuentas de usuario. A lo largo del taller pues vamos a ir viendo la importancia que tienen las contraseñas para nosotros, para nuestra privacidad y nuestra seguridad, porque muchas veces no somos conscientes de la importancia que realmente tienen y de lo que nos están protegiendo. Este es el índice de las cuestiones que vamos a ver, las contraseñas, cómo nos protegen. Una contraseña robusta que es sinónimo de seguridad. ¿Realmente por qué es sinónimo contraseña de seguridad? ¿Qué medidas de protección tenemos que tener adicionales aparte de las contraseñas? Las principales amenazas que pueden afectar a nuestras contraseñas y cómo comprobar si alguna de nuestras cuentas ha sido comprometida. Pero antes de empezar con la presentación, pues si alguno de los que estáis viendo este taller no conocéis INCIBE y los servicios y los canales que tenemos, pues quiero presentaros un poco todos ellos los que tenemos, ¿no? Por una parte, tenemos el canal de Tu Ayuda en Ciberseguridad, que es una línea de ayuda que tenemos diferentes canales. Por una parte está el 017, que es un teléfono gratuito y confidencial que está disponible todos los días del año, de 9 de la mañana a 9 de la noche. También tenemos el canal de WhatsApp, si añadimos el usuario 900-116 y 117, 900-116-117, y por Telegram con el usuario @INCIBE017. Cualquier tipo de duda que tengamos sobre ciberseguridad, pues ahí lo vais a poder llamarnos, consultar y os lo vamos a resolver. Lo mismo si tenéis algún tipo de duda que os surja en este taller, pues nos llamáis y desde ahí os vamos a poder ayudar. Después, los diferentes canales que tenemos, según el público objetivo, tenemos OSI, la Oficina de Seguridad del Internauta, que es para ciudadanos, Internet Segura for Kids, que es para los menores y todas aquellas personas relacionadas con el menor, es decir, profesores, tutores, padres, etc.
So now you can see the web pages here. And then if we focus ourselves on the Office of the on Cybersecurity, which is where this workshop is, I'd like to tell you that we have cooperation programs from which any institution can contact us and ask for a workshop or a talk. And this program is also made up of people who work with us in an altruistic manner. I see some of them here, and also via the streaming too, because this workshop that we're giving today is part of that catalog of talks that is within the cyber help program. We have a catalog of tools. We have infographies. We have the replies to many questions. We have a quiz on cybersecurity. We have online games. We have applications that you can download, etc. And one of the contents that we have is Senior Experience. This is an initiative launched a few months ago in which we try to focus on people who have experience in life but are not digital natives. So it is difficult for them to tackle this subject they are shy, they don't know how to use a computer, they don't know how to work with technology. Well, this initiative, what we try to do is to help them from a very basic level, and then we move upwards so that they can defend themselves and they can start working with technology. With the pandemic, most of the population have started using technology, and maybe many of these people were unable to communicate with their families because they were unable to use technology. We haven't finished it yet, this initiative. We have published 4 parts out of 8 so far, and we will be publishing and posting contents along the way. And we also said in July that there were surprises, that there were going to be infographics, videos, articles, and one of the surprises are the surprises is this workshop. It is devoted to these people. It's part of the cause, and it's not going to be just this workshop, but 4 workshops. Not just this workshop. This PowerPoint that I'm going to present is going to be published online, and we'll post an online guide as well. If any teacher or training is watching, they will be able to use this PowerPoint presentation. And if senior experience is dedicated to these people, well, in fact, it is not only addressed to seniors. Many people can benefit from this program, and also those people with digital knowledge. You probably have an uncle or a parent or a grandfather, and you get questions from them about how to upload something, how to download, etc. So we give you the resources to help you as well, so that you are able to help them and give a hand. So it is addressed to seniors, but also to the general population, from the youngest to the oldest, for ourselves or to help others. Okay. Let's start. Our main protection against cyber attackers is our passwords. We do not always pay attention to them. Do we know how to manage in a secure way all our keys and our passwords? When we post something on the internet, we know that it is going to stay there. We know that even if we close our account, well, someone might have taken a screenshot out of that. So we know this is going to happen. We know that we shouldn't post personal data or private pictures, banking data, etc. We know how to protect our digital identity in terms of what we post, but we are not aware of the information that some service providers have about us. This data may not be public. For instance, if you buy something online, you enter your address, your name, as that is not accessible, but it is something that stays in your account. If someone is able to hack that business, they will have access to your data, and that's where passwords come into play. When we register ourselves in a service, we're going to be asked for an email address and a password, and if someone gets this password, and they will be able to see whatever we have in our accounts. So banking accounts, social accounts, conversations, everything we have on a service where we are registered. All that information stays there, and the password is keeping all our information. With analogy with the real world, password is like a key. We have a key to access our home or our car. Without the key, we cannot access these places. So the password is the key, what we need to access an account. So the main account related to our passwords, we have attacks coming from cyber criminals, so direct attacks to passwords, or social engineering based attacks. They also come from cyber criminals, but in these cases we are going to give them are going to give away our password without knowing, without being aware. They are going to trick us. We are going to be tricked so that we give them the password. We have all heard about the phishing. In phishing attacks, we receive a message that seems to come from our bank or a store, or they tell us that we have won a contest, etc. Something that looks useful, that looks good, and then we're going to click on a link. We're going to log on to a fake website, and in truth we haven't won anything, or our bank account has not had any issue. We are just giving away our data and our passwords. There are many types of phishing, and we're with phishing attacks, we are giving away our personal data and our password. The bank is the most simple example. They tell us that there's a security problem. They tell us that we have a security issue in your account, and we have to log in and provide something to prove that we are who we are, and we are directed to this fake network, and as soon as we log on and we click on send, that goes to the cyber criminal, and they will have access to our account, to everything. They can use our banking account as they want. So speaking about threats, here we have several examples. Brute force. This is when cyber criminals try to find out what password is, entering combinations of words until they succeed. Is the most tedious way to do it. They try several combinations, and if they are lucky, well, they get access to our account. Dictionary attacks. Here, they have some tool that it is not manual. They have a program with words that are in the dictionary, and they combine these words until they succeed. Spidering attacks. In this case, the cyber criminals browse the web. They get information about their victim, for instance, the name of their pet, or the place where they live, etc. And they're going to try to use that data. Your favorite color, your favorite band. Those are things that we need to avoid. Keylogger attacks. In this case, it's not the cyber criminal themselves who is trying to access our network or our laptop. It is a software program that captures our keywords. No, not a keywords. How we use the keyboard. Every single key that we press is being recorded. And last but not least, social engineering attacks. We are opening our passwords to cyber criminals unaware. Typical errors that are made with our passwords. To recycle passwords, so to reuse a password in different services. Every password needs to be different. If one service is attacked and that password is compromised, we will have to change all the passwords. So it is a mistake to recycle passwords, to use idioms, for instance, or set phrases. For instance, I love you. Using I love you this is one of the most used and most dangerous passwords you can use. And then writing them down, and write your password on a post-it or on the back of your notebook. That's also that's not a good practice, because if someone gets close to your computer, it will be able to see it, or your desk, or your notebook. I mean, cyber criminals know where to look for. We cannot think of cyber criminals as those obscure people who did work in the basement in a foreign country. They can be very close to us. To memorize passwords based on the keyboard, so 1 2 3 4 A B C D, that sort of questions. Using personal information. So I was referring to that when I talked about spidering attacks. Any personal information is dangerous if we use it on a password, because it is very easy to find on the internet. If we post, for instance, with your favorite music band, but we talk about that on a forum, about this music band, well, cyber criminals have many resources. So using simple patterns. So for instance, dog 1 2 3 4. So that's a false feeling of security, because we have numbers, but 1 2 3 4 is easy to guess. Here we have two examples of securities. I'm going to remind you the main pieces of advice. So how many digits? So 8. Well, let's say from 8 onwards. The more numbers you have, or the more digits we have, the better. It must contain letters and special characters. It has to be unique. It should not be repeated on different services. And it should be changed periodically. Yeah, this is getting complex. Yeah, I see your faces. Yeah, and all that multiplied by the number of services. That's where we are registered. We have here, you can see the first password. It's really easy with the red lock. Almost anyone can guess this. Password. The second one, the green gridlock, is much more secure. There are letters, there are numbers, there's a special character. It is not that obvious. But even if it is more secure, well, depending on where that password is, if we have that password on our Twitter account, is not very secure, because the account is if our account name coincides with the password, well, then it is useless too. So do not use names that are related to you. If the name is Angela, my name, I would never use this password, so that you can have an idea about the things that we can use or not. So let's create a robust password. So let's go through the different steps. So memory techniques. Think of a word or sentence with several words using capital letter and lowercase letter. So give me a second here. Yeah, you can see my screen, right? So we've said, let's add one word. Let's add mujeresciber. Today we're at mujeresciber. Yeah, forgive my handwriting, but I'm using the mouse. So we write mujeresciber, the name of this event. So we have to add a number too. So let's add an 8 here, and then 1 here, and we have to add a special character too. So for instance, underscore and an interrogation mark. This is a password that will be more secure, and this password would comply with all the rules. The last step was customization. So on each service we need a different password. One trick is if we're talking about our email account, well, we can add CE at the end. Or if it is for Facebook, we end FB at the end. So we have different passwords, even if they are based on the same pattern. This is easier to remember. So let's go back to the PowerPoint presentation. So yes, we have a sentence or 2 words. We have lowercase and capital letters, and we have changed 1 letter. then some numbers too, special characters, and we customize the password depending on the type of service. So we're going to use two other memory rules. You can use your own tricks so that you can see it's easy, but there are endless options. First one is a sentence as the basis of the password. Let's think of a sentence. Let's modify letters by numbers, and let's customize it by account. This is a workshop. If you have questions or you want to speak, go ahead. So, sentence as the basis of our password. One sentence. Please give me a sentence. Do you have a micro available so that we can work together, all of us? Please, any takers? Yes. This area, maybe? I think they're more active. I see they are eager and willing. Yeah, a long sentence, 8 characters at least. I was going to say, take the control. Okay. Take the control in mujeresciber of INCIBE. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we have a sentence here. It's apparently no one would guess what it means, but this would mean something for you. So I've taken the first word, the initial letter of each word, and I have also combined capital letter and lowercase. We have also said that we need to add a number. So a trick in order to add numbers and in order to add numbers is to modify them and substitute numbers by letters. So A is 4, E is 3, and I is 1, O is 0. Okay? So in this case, we have 2 vowels. So we're going to write take the control in women INCIBE and INCIBE and one special character. So an exclamation mark at the end. This is a safe password. Not easy to remember, but apparently has no relationship to us. So we could use it for any service in this event, and it will be very difficult to guess. So we're talking about account customization. If we are talking about your email account, I'm going to add here E for electronic or email, FB for Facebook, and the rest is the same. And that way we have created a safe password that complies with all the rules and all the steps that we have listed before. So, second example, to mix 2 words. So let me open a new document. Give me 2 words, please. Give me 2 words. Yeah. any words. Yeah, that boy over there. Yeah, buenos días, good morning, are the 2 words. Yeah, you tricked me there. So we have the 2 words, buenos, good, días, good morning. Well, this is not ideal for what I wanted to do, but okay. So let's substitute some of the words by letters. So B, D, U, U, capital letter, E, and now A, now N, now S, DS, and then O and S. So here we have 2 words that we have crossed, and we have created something that looks random, but we have created that out of something very simple. Buenos días, good morning. We have to remember that we have to replace a word, a letter by a number. On our phone, our phones, you know that if you see a keyboard on a phone, you see that under 1 there are 3 letters, A, B, C. 2 is D, E, F, etc. So B, D, capital V, 1, 3. I've written 3 the other way around. For A, N, S, I'm going to write 0 here, and the final S. And a special character at the beginning this time, an asterisk and an interrogation mark. This will be our safe password. And now if we want to customize it per account, so CE for email, electronic mail, or correo electrónico, or FB for Facebook. These are 2 memory rules, very simple to follow, very easy to remember, and that is the way we can create a safe password. Okay. Any questions so far? Any suggestion? Okay. Okay, let's move on. This is an activity that you can do at home. You can create your own safe passwords and change those that are not safe. Apart from these 2 memory tricks, there are many others, but if we do have a resource to help you in this, and that way you can also see the resources that we have at INCIBE. The resource is called Improve Your Password. This is the page of the Office of Cybersecurity. But if you type here Improve Your Password, you get there. Well, these are all the resources that we have. Under campaigns, we have the senior experience, where this workshop is part of. And under here, safe password, you can see articles, videos, games, and you can read all this if you have questions. If you have any question, you can contact us at 017. please don't leave any question unanswered. So I'm going to go in. Sorry, it's not the good one. This is another memory role. Well, but now you see that everything we have at our office, at the Office of the Cybersecurity, is very simple to use. Okay. Let me see if I can find it. So we download the PDF file. You can print it. It's a game that you can play with your kids or little brothers or sisters. And I'm going to explain you briefly how the game works. This is a conversion table. We have to guess 3 of those words. You have to throw the dice to do that. So let's use the example. So we have 5 and a 4, which is market, then 5 and 6, which is buffalo, and then 1 and 2, which is rotor. So we need to use these 3 words that seem random. So in order to remember them, we're going to build a sentence. For instance, the buffalo went to the market when the rotor of its car broke down. And with that sentence, we're going to create a sentence. And here you can see the password with letters and numbers and special characters. So this resource is available for you. You have the dice. It's a game, and you can play it. And it shows kids how important passwords are. You learn by playing. So let's go back to the presentation. A robust password will make cyber criminals run away. But do you think that a safe password is enough to be protected? I see some nodding heads. No, because we see at the beginning that there were some other attacks. So social engineering, for instance, when we give away our passwords even unaware, or the keylowers software or malware that infects our devices because we opened a file that we thought was safe, or we have downloaded something from an illegal website, etc. So a safe password is not sufficient because there are other threats. Even if we have the best password, we are not safe. Okay, so what can we do? So the reply to this is the second factor of authentication. In simple words, we log on to this service, we enter our user and password, and then the survey asks for another code. This is the second factor of authentication. Why is it more secure? Because the code will arrive at an external device. So in case this cyber criminal is able to access our account or has our password by any means, because our device is infected or we have given away our password, they would still need this second factor of authentication that we will only see. So they would need to have access to that external device. So that will mean having much more access to us. Well, it is possible, but it is more difficult. So what kinds of verifications exist? So an SMS or a security question, or via a different application, or via time codes provided by the services, or via a security key, a USB or Bluetooth, or a biometric verification, or face, for instance, or finger. So this is common in many services. That is why it is so important to have that second factor of authentication on. We see a lot of cases of WhatsApp accounts being hacked, even if it is not part of the workshop. Let me tell you that what the cyber criminals do is getting the information from us. So when we change a phone, if we want to download all our WhatsApp conversations to the new phone, they use a social engineering attack. They trick us with any kind of excuse, and they get that code from us, and they steal that WhatsApp account from us, and they install it on their devices. If the second factor of authentication is on, that wouldn't work, because they don't get that security code. So yeah, double authentication factor, please. So even if some services do not have it, there are some applications that provide this service. There are several tools that make this easier for us. And now we move on to another topic. So we have all these passwords. We have one password per service. We have that trick that I told you about, so customizing per service or per account. But that could also be accessed by a cyber criminal. So let's go back to the analogy of the real world. If we have 15 keys, all of them loose, and I need them all together, and what do I need? I need a key ring, right? So if we go back to password, the key ring analogy is a password management service, a password manager that will allow us to store our passwords by means of a master password. So we download the application, we add all the services that we have, all our accounts, and whenever we want to access a service, we just have to enter the master password. But it has to be a really, really, really good password, because it is the key to our other passwords. And then there are some additional functionalities. They help you create a safe password. They give you guidelines to create new passwords. So additional functionalities. I know that I'm going to get this question. So what password manager should I use? This is a difficult question. There are many different possibilities on the market. So each one of us has to assess the best for them. But I can tell you that from our office, if we go here to resources, we have a catalog of the different types of passwords and services, of maintenance, cleaning, antivirus, traffic analysis. So these are all the different tools that you may need. And the last one is deciphering and password manager. Here you see a very complete list of tools that are reliable and that have similar functionalities, but every one of them is a bit different. You can enter this list, you can read it, and then you decide the one that works best for you. So let's go back to the presentation. Where were we? Yes. Okay. So, in the beginning, we saw that our accounts can be compromised. So, not only because of our carelessness, or because we are being infected, but because the services that we are registered under are different companies, different services, etc. They have servers where they keep those data. Sometimes cybercriminals do not attack us, but they attack the service providers. They attack the servers. Yeah, this can happen, and it is our duty to check if any of our accounts has been compromised by any attack or any security breach. I'm going to explain this web page later on, but before we do that, and then we see the whole cycle, we can also go back to the INCIBE web page, and we post security warnings and announcements. Okay, so I'm going back in oc.s. Here you see under the keep updated section there are security announcements. Whenever we detect any incident, so a large-scale phishing or any kind of cyber attack, we post this kind of announcement so that you have information, you know how to react and know what to do. So even if you can access from here, you can also follow us on social media, or you can sign up to receive our newsletters. We have two types of newsletters. There's the announcement newsletter, and then we have the posting newsletter. Every time there's a video or on an article with information, we send it to you. That's maybe easier than having to go to our website. So, as you can see, from the 7th of October, there was a breach of security, which is what I was just mentioning. They were attacked. Those people registered had to change their password because they are public now online. So we warn you. We send announcements whenever there is one of these breaches. So let me explain to you the next activity. In this activity, you have to check if your accounts have been compromised. And in order to show you that, The web page is haveibeenpwned.com, and we can type in our email account in order to identify if our account has suffered one of these breaches, one of these attacks. We enter our password. So I'm going to use a random email account. I click on Pond. Yeah, this is a very generic email account. I hope no one is the owner of this email account, because they have been compromised. 128 security breaches. So we can see the list of all the security problems and the information that has been compromised or published. Everything is in English, but if you have problems with the language, you can use an online translation engine. Yeah, for instance, Dropbox in 2012, the account was compromised. LinkedIn, May 2016. Here we see what was compromised here, the user account and the password. So here we have to change immediately our password if we have used it in another service. Well, we have to change it as well. Otherwise, we leave a gate open for anyone. The door is open for cyber criminals to access our information. And these are files that can be downloaded where you can read all the information. So if this tells us if our email account is on one of these files coming from servers. So let's see the case where an email account has not been compromised. Let's enter mine at INCIBE. I hope it is green. Yeah, I hope. Yes, good news. No point found. Yeah, so your account has not been compromised. So you just have to enter your email account and you get all the information. Okay. And this is the end of the workshop. If you have any question, any doubt, let me repeat that this workshop is going to be posted on the YouTube channel of INCIBE. All the materials and the guide will be posted at OSI.es within the Experience Senior campaign, and will be part of the program of cyber helpers. And everything is online as well, in streaming. You can contact us via WhatsApp and 017, via Telegram 2 at 017. We have 3-4 minutes if anyone has a question. I see there are no questions, so if anyone is shy, you can contact us at the 017 with any question, any doubt on cybersecurity. Yeah, anyone, any target audience, is very welcome. Thanks very much for coming to this workshop. I hope it has been useful to you. Thank you.